Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, King Rex 96. Thanks for the suggestion, King Rex. You asked, how are condoms made? These little rubber champions sit quietly in your wallet, your drawer, or your health class demo kit. But have you ever stopped to think about how they go from gooey rubber tree sap to something you'd trust in a moment of passion and panic? Well, strap in, pun absolutely intended, because today we're following the life cycle of the humble condom, from milky latex to sealed foil packet, right here on Explaining Everything. Believe it or not, most condoms begin their lives as tree sap. Not just any tree, Hevea brasiliensis, a fancy name for the rubber tree. Workers tap into these trees and collect a milky white fluid called natural latex. Think maple syrup harvesting, but a bit squishier and way less delicious. Once harvested, this latex is filtered, cleaned, and treated with stabilizers to prevent it from spoiling. It's then sent off to the factory in giant containers, like a milk delivery, if milk could become a balloon for adult activities. And yes, some condoms are made from synthetic latex or polyurethane for those with allergies. But today, we're following the OG, all-natural rubber path, because nothing says romance like a tree. Now, here's where the magic happens. Inside the factory, rows of eerily finger-shaped glass molds, called formers, get lined up like they're auditioning for a hand modeling job. These molds are dipped into vats of warm, liquid latex, and boom, they get their first rubber coating. But one dip isn't enough. To make sure the condom won't explode under pressure, like your group project in college, the molds are dipped again for a thicker layer. After each dip, they go through a drying tunnel where hot air solidifies the latex. Imagine a sauna for rubber. This dip-dry cycle is repeated until they've reached the perfect thickness. Not too thick, not too thin, just right for maximum flexibility. Also, here's a fun factory fact. All the formers are cleaned meticulously between uses. Because hygiene is sexy. Very sexy. Once the latex is dry, it's time to roll, literally. The top edge of each condom is rolled into that familiar ring shape we all recognize and sometimes panic over. Next, they're baked in ovens. Why? Because vulcanization, no, not Star Trek, vulcanization is a real science term where latex is heated to make it stronger and more elastic. Basically, the rubber gets superhero powers, stretchiness, durability, and the ability to bounce back emotionally and physically. After baking, it's bath time. The condoms are washed to remove excess chemicals and proteins that could cause allergic reactions or just smell weird. Then they're dried again. It's like a spa day, but you end up in a foil packet instead of feeling refreshed. And if you're wondering, yes, machines do all this. Nobody's manually rolling or scrubbing these things. Imagine that job listing, wanted, professional condom roller. Must love latex and repetitive tasks. Okay, now here's where things get serious. Condoms go through more testing than a high school overachiever. We're talking air inflation, water leakage, and even electronic tests. In one test, condoms are filled with air until they balloon up like party decorations for a very confusing birthday. If it bursts too early, it's rejected. Same rule applies on dates. Next, they are filled with water and checked for leaks. Even a tiny pinhole means instant failure. One tiny flaw can cause a big oops later. Some are stretched, twisted, or zapped with electricity to check for flaws. This is not a joke. Condoms can conduct electricity, and factories use that fact to test them like little rubber light bulbs. And yes, every batch is rigorously sampled. Even if not every single condom is tested, enough are tortured in the lab to make sure the whole squad is safe. Once they've survived boot camp, the condoms are ready for the final spa treatment, lubrication. A little lube gets added depending on the product type: classic, ultra-thin, glow-in-the-dark, or why does this one smell like strawberries? Then comes the packaging line. Each condom is sealed in a foil wrapper, airtight and tamper-proof. The wrapper is heat-sealed to keep everything fresh and sterile. Then it's boxed, labeled, and shipped out to pharmacies, vending machines, and very awkward school seminars. And just like that, they've made their way from a tropical tree to a cardboard box in aisle 9 of your local store. What a journey! From tree sap to heat-treated, tested, and lovingly packaged latex sleeves, these little guys go through a wild and rigorous journey before ending up in your pocket or nightstand drawer. It's easy to overlook them until you need one. But behind every foil wrapper is a surprisingly complex process involving science, hygiene, engineering, and a whole lot of quality control. They're not just balloons with a purpose. They're tiny feats of engineering designed to do one very important job: protect and prevent without popping under pressure. So next time you see one, give it a respectful nod and maybe buy one. It survived chemical baths, baking ovens, and inflation tests just to be there for you. That's dedication. If you learned something new, give us a like. And if this didn't ruin latex gloves for you forever, hit that subscribe button. And as always, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.